Hey everyone! After the success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, everyone's been asking, what's the next movie based on a video game? Both the Last of Us TV show and the Super Mario Bros. Movie prove that if the creators stick to its true source of the material, it can make audience pay the big bucks to those asshole companies and praise them for their pure intentions of cinema and video games. Yeah! However, there have been some poor examples. I'm not gonna name a few. So these production companies should be careful on what video game they choose and how to approach them as a movie or TV show. I believe not all video games can have the potential into becoming a great movie or a great TV show. However, I will pitch in some good ones that I truly believe that these video game movies have potential. Let's get on with the first one. And maybe it's gonna be weird, but I do see potential in this. Among Us movie. Yep, I just said that. At the time of writing this idea, I do notice the popularity of this game is lacking. However, at the time, people do enjoy the mysteries in a sci-fi setting. There's nothing wrong about that at all. I like to say for this inspiration of this movie, of an Among Us movie, would be Clue the movie and Alien. It's a weird combination, but if you see what I'm going with this, it actually works well for an Among Us movie. If the filmmakers can stick to its story, where it's about 10 space crewmates encountering a planet with suspicious alien activity, 2 of each of the space crewmates discover this alien strange substance. They take it on board of their ship for research purposes. While researching this alien activity / substance, one of them dies in the ship, and then they find out that there's an imposter among them. Pretty basic, pretty simple. And it completely sticks to what the game's all about. It's about finishing your task while trying to find the imposter at the same time. However, there's one thing that I think would stand out in this movie, which is multiple endings. Now, the best way to do this in now times is if this film goes straight into streaming services. I don't think cinema would be good well for an Among Us movie. So if you just click on the movie once, it'll play one of 5 endings or 4 endings. I don't know how many endings you can do in a streaming service. You know what I mean? You know, as long as if they get the audience immersed with the story with those multiple endings, they can get into the mystery and saying, okay, so red was here, blue was there, which means green is the imposter. Something like that. As well as I'm more happy making the film animated rather than live action. I don't want to see Chris Pratt and I don't want to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 directed by someone else, basically. It's pretty much Guardians of the Holy shit, I don't know why I just thought of that. Fuck. Unlike my next pitch, which is for the video game Red Dead Redemption 2, one of my favorite video games, I believe it's better off as a TV show rather than a movie. It should be exactly like The Last of Us, where we can explore some of the other characters' relationships rather than just focusing on Arthur Morgan and Dutch and basically the main. In a movie, unless the filmmakers can figure out the way to capture the dreamy open world and the astounding character relationship connection to the audience in a featured film, I would watch it. However, those aspects of the game would really work well in a slow-paced environment, which I think a TV show would be a perfect way to capture a Red Dead Redemption 2 video game. Very similar to Last of Us, where each chapter of the video game should be each season. And there are so many actors to pick for Arthur Morgan, and they just need to deliver the cold energy while hiding an emotive motive. Basically, if you just stick to that gritty world as well as those character relationship writing in the Red Dead Redemption 2 story TV show, I reckon I can see a perfect 99% Rotten Tomato score. Done and easy. Okay, for my next pitch, this is an interesting one, but I see a lot of potential in it. A Call of Duty movie. Everyone who is even not in the gaming community will recognize what Call of Duty is. It's a first-person shooter game. Now, remember what I just said, first person, because that's a major thing that I have for this idea. Instead of making a general, military action film, why not utilize the first-person perspective throughout the whole film? Not only it's a great use for action scenes, but for those small moments where there's those basic training scenes, those those briefing scenes, the making and losing friends scenes, the pain, the loss, the defeat, the victory, and the death. Yes, even the death of the character. If we put the audience's perspective in the eyes of an armed soldier, that will maybe capture the tense human drama and the breathtaking thrills of the Call of Duty franchise. I truly believe that if we utilize that specific element of that video game, not only make video game movies more stand out, but it would make movies in general a standout, in my opinion. For my last idea is probably for the most, I think, lovable idea, and I think everybody would see this coming, a Legend of Zelda video game movie. Now this can be done through how the Mario Brothers movie was done. Basically use all the elements from the video games and make it into one giant love letter to it. However, I believe a Legend of Zelda movie even top a Super Mario movie if they take the theme of courage serious. Because that's what the whole video game franchise is about bravery and courage. While the game solely focuses on Zelda, it would be an interesting take to see the focus on Link, creating that development of fear or lack of self-worth into understanding that living in fear doesn't make him not courageous, but how to face fear and overcome it makes him courageous. I don't know, focusing on that development would be interesting to see because, you know, we play as him as a silent protagonist and we don't get that much story or development from him in the video game. But as a movie, we get to see more of his fears, his talent, and his charisma on screen. Another aspect that would benefit a Legend of Zelda movie is the animation. Not live action, but the animation should be hand-drawn. I don't want Illumination doing the Legend of Zelda film. I think that would lose its aesthetic of a video game. Studio Ghibli would be the perfect animation for a Zelda movie, no doubts. Just do not cast Tom Holland as Link or Zendaya as fucking Princess Zelda. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. But Ned as Ganon, I'd fuck with that. I like that a lot. Yeah, Ned as Ganon, top tier. Real quickly, I want to end this video with a list of video games that I think would be horrible as films. Number 1, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim video game. Under the right hands, I think a film of this video game could rival with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. I actually believe that. That's the problem though. It has to be done with the right writers. And they have to get that balance out of an interactive world, the open world of that video game, to a structure of a featured-length film. It's really hard to balance out the long hours of video game play into a 120-minute film. I feel like it's not gonna work out. And plus, the writers it has to be the right writers. And the perfect example for that reasoning is the Witcher series. There's gonna be a list of articles right there and you'll see what I mean. The next one I think is an obvious one, FORTNITE the movie. It will be exactly like Ready Player One. That film's fine. None of the pop culture reference would bring nothing to the story. It will bring nothing to the story, and it wouldn't make sense watching everything from Marvel, DC, My Little Pony, like I don't know, whatever they're doing into one film. It'd be fucking weird. Another thing is that they would cast The Rock as the main character because he's canon in the FORTNITE storyline. And we all know how desperate he is for attention. Lastly, maybe this could be controversial, but I truly believe it would be horrible. A GTA movie. I truly believe that it would not work out. It would be great to see San Andreas or Vice City or any of its memorable characters on the big screen. However, the over-the-top violence, the unapologetic dialogue, and the worshipping of crime will bring backlash if it was made as a movie. It would. I'm not gonna bring too much time into explaining that. I think it's self-explanatory that a GTA movie would not work out. That's how I believe it. Some video games have potential to be great stories as a movie or as a TV show. However, some video games should just stick to being video games. Do what you want and be happy.